During the English neoclassical period, many writers imitated the epic poetry and satires of ancient Greece and Rome. They were not the first in England to adopt the literary mode of classical antiquity, however. Some of the most prominent figures of the earlier Renaissance period were also influenced by ancient Greek and Roman literature. So we have a subject and verb here. We're not the first in England, subject, verb, object, to adopt the literary mode of classical antiquity. However, some of the most of the most prominent figures of the early Renaissance period would be the prepositional phrase that you will not find subject or verb. So some subject, verb, were. And then we have the influence, that's also part of the verb, by the ancient Greek and Roman literature. Okay, so subject, verb, object, and we have subject and verb. We have two independent clauses. So how do we connect this? And how do we put the however? Where does the however belong to? Now, if you pay attention, they said many writers imitated epic poetry and satires during this 1660. But in the second sentence, said they were not the first. There were people before who imitated or who copied or who emulated the epic poetry and satires. We want to show the contrast, and that means the contrast signal transition word, however, should be used in the beginning of the second sentence. So the correct answer should be C. Okay, but then it's okay. Let's find the other choices and then use the rationale to eliminate. So A, we have antiquity. However, you cannot combine the two independent clauses with a comma by itself. Okay, so however is not the one of the coordinate conjunctions. Those fanboys for and, nor, but, or yet. So it's not one of those seven. So we cannot use that. You cannot connect the two independent clause with a however. And choice B, antiquity, however, same thing. You cannot put okay. Basically, choice A and B is causing a comma splice. Okay, comma splice and comma splice. Okay. Choice D has semicolon, but it's going to change the meaning, and it's a wrong place to put the semicolon because the first part of the second sentence and second part of the second sentence actually they corroborate. It confirm. But then if you say however, it shows they're contrasting, and that's not the true case here. Okay, the semicolon should be after the word however, because if you say they were not the first in England to adopt the literary mode of classical antiquity, and let's just start a brand new sentence, and let's just imagine that you put the big H. However, some were also influenced by ancient Greek Roman period literature during this like earlier time. Like Renaissance is like what 1300 or 1500. So that makes no sense because they were not the first, and we need to confirm that, or we need to give example. Therefore, however, doesn't make sense here. So yeah, correct answer should be C.